Historians tell us that there have been 9 influenza pandemics in the past 300 years. So once in every 30 to 35 years, or roughly 3 per century. But that trend is changing rapidly in the 21st century. First came SARS, then the swine flu, MERS, a new outbreak of Ebola, Zika, dengue fever, and now COVID-19. Why this century is witnessing more and more outbreaks? In the 21st century, epidemics are more likely to happen due to the number of reasons ranging from habitat destruction and climate change to global wildlife trade and interconnectedness of cities. Everything seems to be working in favor of pandemics. Urbanization, globalization, and increased human consumption of animal proteins are driving the rise in epidemics significantly. If that is not enough, modern transportation is making it easier for the infection to spread across countries quickly. In our global society, outbreaks of infectious disease can move from a remote village to a major city on the other side of the world in under 36 hours. There is a clear link between the spread of viruses and the relationship between humans and the natural world. The difference between today and 100 years ago is that now we are dismantling the living world at an unprecedented rate. Firstly, we have got climate change, which is pushing animals to cooler areas like poles, because animals want to get out of the heat, and that creates an opportunity for viruses and bacteria to get into new species and new areas. This stress from climate change is making animals sick. And as humans continue to expand into previously uninhabited areas, it is more likely that humans will come in contact with viruses that circulate in animals. Also, due to deforestation and overfishing, pressure on animals has increased, and that is why chances of animals getting sick have increased. Then we have global wildlife trade. This trade is just insane. People are moving animals around the world from isolated forests to densely populated cities. The problem is that these animals can be potential carriers of viruses. There are over 1 million viruses like the novel coronavirus out there. Research organization called EcoHealth Alliance has found 500 different coronaviruses in bats alone. But it took them 10 years to do that work. So the bottom line is, viruses are here to stay, and we need to significantly transform our world to deal with them. To efficiently deal with the pandemic in future, we need to work on 4 key areas. Redesigning our cities, upgrading healthcare infrastructure, reforming pharmaceutical industry, and finally fixing the WHO and improving the international collaboration. Hi guys, this was a short clip from my recent documentary Post-Coronavirus World. This documentary is about making our world pandemic proof. In that documentary, I have covered all the areas we need to work on if we want to create an efficient global healthcare system that can not only fight the pandemic but can also prevent it from happening. If you want to watch that entire documentary, click on this link above. Warning the world about a possible pandemic almost about 5 years before the coronavirus outbreak. Not just him, many prominent global healthcare experts have been warning us about the possible pandemic since the Ebola outbreak of 2014. Over the past 15 years, there has been no shortage of articles and white papers issuing dire warnings that the next global pandemic was only a matter of time. But we never seem to learn our lessons. Every time we face a global health emergency, we see it as 1 in 100 years scenario, but the reality tells a different story. If we look at the death chart of the 21st century, we can notice that 25 million died in the World War I and 65 million died in the World War II. But apart from these two, there is another spike which is as big as the World War II. It represents the Spanish flu that killed approximately 50 million people. Medical